From our broadcasting house here on Wesley Street in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown, this is Primetime News on AYV TV and radio. You're watching us on Channel 33 and listening to us on frequency modulation 101.7. I am Zulayatu Hamid. Let's start with tonight's headlines. Now, the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, in partnership with the Institute for Governance Reform, has launched development plans for 8 local councils. Also on Primetime News, the Sierra Leone Army opens its Army Command Group conference on enhancing the country's border security in the face of regional extremism. And we will find out more on how sustainable is the country's largest grid-connected solar power plant at Newton, outskirts of Freetown. Hello and welcome from wherever you're joining me tonight. I am Zulayatu Hamid. Now, first in the news, Sierra Leone's digital finance sector has received a boost with the launch of the AfriCell's new AfriMoney prepaid Visa card. Now, the card was officially presented to the Minister of Communication, Technology and Innovation, Salima Ba, in Freetown. Now, the initiative is expected to expand access to digital payments and support the country's growing cash-lit economy. My colleague Abubakar Siddiqui Jallo reports.
Today, on behalf of the team, we want to proudly present one of the cards to you so that you can give it a try.
AfriCell says the new AfriMoney prepaid Visa card will allow customers to connect their mobile money wallets directly to the global Visa payment network. The service enables users to make payments at shops, online platforms, and international merchants without the need for a traditional bank account. This move comes as Sierra Leone continues efforts to expand financial inclusion through digital services. According to the World Bank's Global Findex database, mobile money remains one of the fastest growing financial services across Africa, helping millions access formal financial systems. During the official presentation, the Minister of Communications, Technology and Innovation welcomed the initiative and expressed their vision as a government.
To participate in the global economy, to be able to have internationally accepted cards. So this partnership also signifies there's so many doors that it would unlock in the creative economy, the e-commerce economy. Those business people find Syrian, and maybe I don't have to buy a ticket to go all the way to China. I can go online and order everything and pay for it, and it arrives here, right? So this is really towards really unlocking the digital economy in that sector. For me, success is how do we get the Okada drivers to be able to accepting payments, and that's the normal practice. So now to the point when you want to give them cash, everyone's like, why you give them cash? I want to see how the market women, the people in the market women.
AfriCell officials say the card forms part of a broader strategy to promote digital payments and reduce reliance on cash transactions. They believe the platform will provide customers with greater flexibility and wider access to financial services beyond domestic money transfers.
So as AfriMoney, we have worked on what could potentially remove that barrier to formal banking or access to online transactions, and give us a feedback, but also, become a voice that is really pushing the sector you are in, to show that a lot of people get to innovate more ideas, a lot of people get to be more solutions.
The Bank of Sierra Leone has repeatedly encouraged the growth of digital payments as part of efforts to strengthen financial inclusion and modernize the country's financial sector. For many Sierra Leoneans, the success of the initiative will depend on how effectively it makes everyday transactions faster, safer, and more convenient. Abubakar Siddiqui Jallo, AYV News, Freetown.
Now, according to the latest debt report released in June 2026 by the Public Debt Management Division of the Ministry of Finance, Sierra Leone's public debt stock stood at 62.7 billion new loans, equivalent to approximately 2.61 billion United States dollars at the close of 2025, amidst growing concerns about debt sustainability and its implications for national development. AHF Sierra Leone, in partnership with civil society organizations has launched the Freedom from Debt campaign in Sierra Leone, unveiled at the Family Kingdom Hall in Freetown. The initiative forms part of the wider national and global movement advocating for debt justice, fiscal accountability, and sustainable public financing. A reporter, Issa Bangwa, reports.
Stakeholders from civil society organizations, the media, and AHF Sierra Leone gathered at Family Kingdom Hall in Freetown for the official launch of the Freedom from Debt campaign. The initiative aims to increase public awareness of the growing debt burden facing developing countries while advocating for greater transparency, accountability, and fairness in public borrowing and debt management practices. Speaking at the event, representatives of the AHF Sierra Leone expressed concern that rising debt obligations could reduce government spending on critical sectors such as healthcare, education, and social protection.
Go around the world, the conversations, the situations around public debt of countries, especially African countries, has increased. And there is a pressure where countries are now prioritizing paying back these public debts, servicing these debts, paying the interest rate as opposed to the development of countries that is ongoing.
Organizers explain that the campaign is part of a broader international movement calling for debt justice and reforms to the global financial system, enabling developing nations to direct more resources towards improving the lives of their citizens.
Sierra Leone's debt mirrors this global crisis. Sierra Leone public debt has seen significant changes over the years. As of 2025, the total public debt stock stands at 62.7 billion yuans, approximately $2.6 billion US, with external debt dominating 42.9 billion yuans, approximately 1.79 billion, and domestic debt at 20.8 billion yuans, approximately $867 million US. The debt to GDP ratio remains elevated at 39.8%. This growing burden threatens fiscal sustainability, service delivery, and long-term development outcome. These are our key concerns. Rising public debt, debt servicing burden, Sierra Leone debt trajectory raises concern about repayment capacity and fiscal resilience. Shrinking fiscal space, raising debt servicing crowd out investment in health and also education. These are our demand. Greater transparency and accountability in public debt management. Government must publish accessible information on borrowing decision, loan terms, and also debt financed projects.
The Freedom from Debt campaign is expected to feature public awareness drives, policy dialogue, and advocacy initiatives aimed at promoting responsible borrowing and strengthening fiscal accountability. As debt servicing continues to consume a significant share of domestic revenue, stakeholders say the challenge for government will be ensuring that future borrowing is directed towards productive investments capable of stimulating economic growth and easy long-term repayment pressures. Issa Bangura, AWV News, Freetown.
And now, for decades, darkness has been a stubborn companion in many parts of Sierra Leone. Tonight, a new chapter is being written in Newton, on the outskirts of Freetown. The government has commissioned the country's largest grid-connected solar power plant, now a landmark project backed by the World Bank under the Regional Emergency Solar Power Intervention Project, known as Respite. Now, authorities say the project is a major step towards achieving universal energy access and reducing dependence on costly imported fuel. Yeo Jallo has details.
Roll upon roll of solar panels stretched across Newton like a sea of mirrors. turning light into joy for a nation hungry for power. The respite project will feed clean energy directly into Sierra Leone's national grid. Officials say it will improve electricity supply in the western area, lower generation costs, and strengthen energy security. The World Bank estimates that access to electricity in Sierra Leone remains among the lowest in the world. Despite recent gains, when President Julius Maada Bio took office in 2018, fewer than 3 in every 10 Sierra Leoneans had access to electricity. Today, the government says that figure is steadily rising as it pursues its target of expanding access to 78% of the population by 2030 under Mission 300.
Ambition. A declaration that Sierra Leone is investing in its future. It is a proof that when vision is matched by determination, partnership, leadership, and action, transformation is possible. For me, I don't know for you all, today is a proud day for our nation. We should be proud. I say so, ladies and gentlemen, because I've traveled extensively across Sierra Leone and witnessed for myself firsthand how unreliable electricity affects the daily lives of our people. I've visited schools where students struggle to study after sunset. I've seen healthcare workers striving to save lives under difficult conditions. I've spoken to entrepreneurs and business owners who bear the highest cost of generators to maintain their operations. Those experiences have reinforced a simple truth. Electricity is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It powers opportunities, strengthens livelihoods, drives enterprise, supports innovation, and fuels national development. But for too long, energy poverty has constrained the full potential of our people and indeed our economy. For too long, many Sierra Leoneans have had to adapt to darkness, uncertainty, and inadequate infrastructure. This is a future that we will not accept. So when I can say pauper, this is not the source of my pauper. We
Welcome back. Apologies for that breaking transmission. We continue with more stories making the news. Now, in many parts of rural Sierra Leone, darkness is more than the absence of light. It is because of the absence of opportunity. Now, when night falls, businesses close early, students struggle to study, and health centers work against the clock. Now, but a new initiative aims at rewriting the story as the Salon of Grid Renewable Energy Acceleration Program, or SOGIRA 34 Milton Partnership, is funded by the European Union and Denmark to bring clean, reliable electricity to some of Sierra Leone's most underdeserved communities. Ibrahim Ramadan Jallo reports.
For generations, many rural communities have lived at the edge of the national grid, waiting for a promise carried by every election and every development plan. But SOGIRA aims to change that. The program will support the construction and expansion of renewable energy mini-grids, bringing power to communities where darkness has long been default setting.
That's one thing we need to sound very clearly, because
at a two-day bidders workshop in Freetown, the Ministry of Energy joined investors and development partners to move the project from blueprint to reality.
In short, the program is called SOGIRA. It's an EU-funded project, but then later on we have the Danish government who supported as well in the project, so it's a co-funded project. It is the Salon of Grid Renewable Energy Acceleration Initiative.
The gathering attracted the European Union, Denmark, UNOPS Sustainable Energy for All, and the government of Sierra Leone.
First of all, as the EU, we are supporting global access to energy for all. And in Africa in particular, the access to energy is a very important aspect. So we consider this as the basic human rights for the people to have the access to energy. In Sierra Leone in particular, we consider the statistic and data we have now, and there is still only 36% of the population who have the energy access, and only 6% of the population who has the access in the rural areas, which is very low, and even in comparing to the another African countries.
Officials say electricity is not merely an infrastructure project. It is the bloodstream of development, the current that powers classrooms, the pulse that keeps clinics running, and the bridge between potential and prosperity.
So these are, it is imperative that you understand the process before the implementation, before the bids are open. So it's good that people are aware.
For thousands of families beyond the reach of national grid, SOGIRA is more than an energy project. It is a switch being flipped on the future. For AYV News, Ibrahim Ramadan Jallo reporting.
And now, for far too long, development in Sierra Leone has often flowed from the center to the margins. But the government says it wants communities to help steer their own future. Now, the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, in partnership with the Institute for Governance Reform, has launched development plans for 8 local councils in a move aimed at deepening decentralization and strengthening local governance. Abubakar Siddiqui Jallo tells us more.
It's not built from the capital alone. It is built chiefdom by chiefdom, district by district, community by community.
And with this, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular honor and privilege to formally declare the 8 local council plans, development plans, officially launched.
At a ceremony in Freetown, government officials and development partners unveiled development plans designed to place local priorities at heart of decision-making. The country's Minister of Planning and Economic Development says the documents are more than policy papers.
Being here is the fulfillment of a vision of a pivotal shift in our development planning. These 8 local council development plans and the other 14 plans are the medium-term national development plan translated into local action, local budgets, and most importantly, local accountability. Let me re-echo to the local councils that these plans are not Lopez plans. Neither are they IGR plans, but they are your plans.
The initiative comes as Sierra Leone continues efforts to strengthen decentralization, a process widely regarded by the World Bank and UNDP as critical to improving governance and public service delivery. But ambition, officials admit, must be matched by resources. As a result, attention is now turning to funding and implementation. The World Bank representative expressed their commitment towards the operation of this initiative.
So the World Bank come to mind, I want to say thank you, big thank you to the local councils for actually taking the lead and working with IGR in developing these plans. The World Bank has been there to local councils from the beginning. So we are not going to stop. We take local development planning very seriously. Because you have, I work for I support the Accountable Governance Project to be in the kitchen in this whole process.
Local leaders welcome the plans but caution that councils continue to face financial and institutional challenges. The mayor of Potloko City Council said stronger support would be needed to translate plans into measurable results.
I want to appeal to our parliamentarians to give us that support and help us push government to ensure that these grants are allocated timely. Because for us to be able to implement these plans, we largely depend on resources, and largely the source of our councils actually comes from central government. Our own source revenue is weak in almost all of the councils. But I also want to appeal that priority is also given to those councils that are really struggling councils, like the new councils that have been elected here.
For supporters, these plans are more than administrative documents. They are seeds planted in local soil, and if properly nurtured, they could grow into stronger institutions, more responsive governance and development that reaches beyond the corridors of power. Abubakar Siddiqui Jallo, AYV News, Freetown.
Trust is the currency of democracy, but in Sierra Leone, that currency has recently lost value according to experts. A recent Afrobarometer survey shows public confidence in the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone fell from 64% in 2018 to 34% after the 2023 elections. Now, in a bid to rebuild that trust, the Electoral Commission, the Political Parties Regulation Commission, and the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education have launched discussions on introducing electoral and political education to various curricula in universities. AYV's Isa Bangura has details.
In every democracy, the ballot box is only as strong as the public's faith in it. When trust begins to fray, the fabric of democracy feels the strain. That challenge brought government officials, academics, civil society groups, and political parties together in Freetown. The two-day engagement is part of efforts to implement recommendations from the Tripartite Committee report and the National Electoral Systems Review. Organizers say electoral education must move beyond election seasons and become part of everyday civic learning. The Electoral Commission and the PPRC argue that universities can serve as classrooms for democracy, helping young people distinguish facts from fiction in an age of misinformation.
Elections are not isolated events that happen every 5 years. They are a permanent pillar of our democracy, sustained by informed citizenry, professional administrators, and a political culture grounded in integrity. Yet for too long, the knowledge of how elections are managed, the legal frameworks, the logistical architecture, the ethical imperatives has remained concentrated in a handful of practitioners. This engagement seeks to change that.
The introduction of electoral and political education into university curriculum will help address many of the challenges confronting democracies across the world, and particularly in Sierra Leone, including political intolerance, misinformation, disinformation, hate speech, declining trust in institutions, weak civic participation, and electoral-related conflicts.
The Deputy Minister of Technical and Higher Education described the initiative as an investment in civic responsibility and democratic values. According to statistics, Sierra Leone, young people make up a significant share of the country's population, making youth engagements critical to democratic participation.
While these efforts are commendable, the curriculum envisaged under recommendation 13 is different in one important respect. It is intentional, coordinated, and nationally focused, and brings in the universities to take a center stage. It seeks to establish a standardized framework that ensures consistency in the teaching and understanding of electoral processes, democratic governance, civic responsibility, and political participation across institutions.
It is therefore appropriate that our higher education institutions begin to offer structured programs in electoral governance to prepare a new generation of professionals capable of managing and supporting democratic processes effectively. The success of this curriculum will depend on collaboration among all stakeholders.
Participants say integrating electoral education into higher learning could help nurture a generation that votes not only with passion, but with knowledge, a generation capable of strengthening institutions, challenging misinformation, and restoring confidence in the democratic process. Because democracy does not thrive on ballots alone, it flourishes when citizens understand the power behind them. Issa Bangura, AYV News, Freetown.
The Sierra Leone Army has opened its Army Command Group Conference at the Mayong Officers' Mess in Wilberforce Barracks. The two-day meeting is held under the theme Guarding the Lion Mountain, Enhancing Sierra Leone's Border Security in the Face of Regional Extremism. It brings together senior military officers, security experts, and key stakeholders to assess emerging threats and strengthen strategies for protecting the country's borders. Now, the conference comes amid growing regional security concerns across West Africa, where extremist violence continues to challenge sustainability and stability in neighboring states. This report is compiled by AYV's intern, Binta Jallo, read by Edima Conte.
Peace is not a monument carved in stone. It is a garden that must be tended season after season. That message echoed through the Army Command Group Conference as military leaders gathered to assess Sierra Leone's security posture amid growing instability across parts of West Africa. The conference comes at a time when violent extremism continues to spread southwards from the Sahel. According to the United Nations, the region remains one of the world's fastest growing theaters of extremist violence, raising concerns for neighboring coastal states. The Deputy Minister of Defense described the conference as a critical platform for confronting emerging threats.
This Command Conference, which is aimed at devising ways to combat emerging threats, cannot come at no better time than this one, a critical junction in the security revolution of the Lion Mountain. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as recognized by the theme of this Command Conference, regional extremism remains an independent emerging security threat, or the motherboard, around which remote factors such as unconstitutional change of governance, porous borders, unhealthy political rivalry, youth unemployment, among many others, revolve in order to aid the potential to keep over of extremism and our grand strategy of establishing a regional caliphate.
For Sierra Leone, border security is more than a military concern. It is the nation's first line of defense against threats that recognize neither maps nor boundaries. Officials say the conference will generate practical recommendations to strengthen surveillance, improve preparedness, and enhance coordination among security institutions.
The purpose of this conference, therefore, is very clear, and it's to enhance Sierra Leone's border security in the face of regional extremism. We aim to achieve the following objectives: analyze current threats, that is to provide a comprehensive understanding of the terrorist activities in the Sahel region and their implications for Sierra Leone. We shall also consider strengthening collaboration. It is to foster cooperation among the various branches of security and to ensure a united front against extremism. We shall also consider developing actionable strategies to formulate effective strategies and operational plans that address the vulnerability in our border security framework.
In a region where the winds of uncertainty continue to blow, Sierra Leone is seeking to keep its foundations firm because peace does not endure by chance. It endures through vigilance. And while borders may mark the edges of a nation, it is preparedness that protects its future. Edima Conte, AYV News, Freetown.
This is Primetime News on AYV TV and radio. Stay tuned for more stories after the break.
I run a small logistics company. Every cent counts. I didn't think I needed a fuel card until I got the Cornex fuel card. Now, I track exactly how much fuel my fleet uses, in real time. And when my wife or kids need fuel, no cash, no stress. It's safe, accepted nationwide, and I control how much goes on each card. At the end of the month, I see the savings, real savings. Cornex fuel card. I didn't know I needed it. Now, I can't run my business or family without it. Fuel smart. Live smart. Visit any Cornex filling station to sign off, or any Cornex office to get your card.
Welcome back. I am Zulayatu Hamid and this is AYV's Primetime News. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's take more stories. Well, apologies for
Crime is evolving, and so must those tasked with fighting it. From data management to digital communication, technology is becoming the new badge of efficiency in modern policing. To help bridge the digital gap, police officers gathered for a basic ICT training organized by Victory Teens Organization and DSTI. The program forms part of wider efforts to build a smarter and more responsive police service.
Capacity building is very much important for the management of all the regions, because we believe that when individuals, personnel are well equipped, when we believe that we have the skills, the knowledge, the innovation, then the sky is their limit. So that anywhere when they are deployed with the requisite skills, they will be able to perform well. They will be able to do their needs properly. So that is why, as an organization, as a management, we pay key attention to the knowledge building, to capacity building.
Organizers say technology is no longer a luxury for public institutions. It is the language of the modern world, and those who cannot speak it risk being left behind. The director of Victory Teens organization says equipping officers with digital skills can enhance productivity, improve record keeping, and strengthen engagement with the public.
This program is an initiative by VTO in partnership with DSTI. Together, we believe that technology is no longer a privilege, but a necessity. In today's world, computer literacy and digital skills are essential for effective service delivery. So it's not just about ITC training, it is about investing in people, strengthening institutions, and contributing to national development.
Participants welcomed the training, describing it as an opportunity to sharpen skills needed in an increasingly technology-driven workplace.
As a beneficiary this morning from the Sierra Leone Police, it's a big opportunity for we. And we're also happy for the leadership selection as the Sierra Leone Police for being part of this. Because we all know the world they live today, a technology world. And also whatever thing we learn now as a police will be extended to we colleague them in our office, which is also will be beneficiaries to them, because without technology today, wherever you go strain for work and you go strain for do research for yourself in terms of private something or public something. So I'm very happy this morning for them.
For a police force navigating the currents of the digital era, every new skill is another tool, every lesson another bridge, and every trained officer a step closer to service design, not only to protect the public, but to keep pace with the future. Edima Conte, AYV News, Freetown.
And now in the world of entertainment. Now, World Bank 2026 states that Sierra Leone's tourism sector is experiencing rapid growth, emerging as one of Africa's outstanding travel destinations. Driven by global campaigns and infrastructural development, the country attracted over 117,000 visitors, generating over 100 million United States dollars in revenue. Now, the sector is positioned to grow further as a pillar of economic diversification, and the Federation of Allied Tourism Association, in collaboration with the Film Council Sierra Leone, has reaffirmed its commitment to promoting sustainable tourism, cultural heritage, and industry development across the country. Now, at the recent engagement, the organization highlighted its vision of positioning Sierra Leone as a leading tourism destination in West Africa, while empowering stakeholders through innovation, collaboration, and inclusive prosperity. Now, let's watch the highlights.
In honor of the blessed ancestors of Sierra Leone, we come together to remember the great storytellers from the days of old, who held our traditions and our legacies close to their hearts. And today they are inspiring a new generation to lift up our origin stories with the latest technology and modern tools. Tonight, we celebrate our future visionaries and we embrace our sacred calling, which is to warmly welcome the world to the beauty of Mama Sadon. May there be a special blessing upon the Sierra Leone Film Council, the Federation of Allied Tourism Associations, and all the individual tourism associations here tonight. As we celebrate our collective work, we are grateful for the divine blessing that is guiding us towards our shared destiny. We give thanks to our honored ancestors upon whose shoulders we stand, and may our collective work inspire generations. Power to the people. May it be so.
First, let me congratulate FATA. Fantastic initiative. My brother Johnny has been sharing with me the work that you're doing, and that you come together. I want you to know that you have a partner and an ally in the Ministry of Information and Security. For the wonderful work you do. I also want to commend members, particularly of the film industry in Sierra Leone, who are here. My brother, Pastor Ea, our leader who just spoke, all the other actors and all the other associations who are here. Look, Scripture says, despise not small beginnings. The Chinese will say a journey of 1,000 miles will start with the first step. Friends, we are in the beginning of something that is magnificent. We're taking that big step towards greatness in our country. And let nobody despise the effort, the time you've all put in putting us together, giving us respect, treating this with the kind of seriousness that it deserves. That is why I wanted to be here. That's why I always want to be with you, to show you that we may not have the money today. We may not have all the resources and equipment today, but this is a sector with massive potential. And you have the support of His Excellency President Julius Malabio. You have my support of His Excellency.
Tonight we want to take this opportunity to thank all of us for coming together. This is in the interest of putting Sierra Leone, our nation, our country. And we are so happy that we are meeting our own brothers within the sub-region, and we're exchanging ideas, bringing ourselves together to see how we can collaborate to ensure that the entertainment industry becomes very vibrant and it cuts right across. When we talk about benefiting from Sierra Leone, we want to see entertainment industry within the sub-region practicing our own cultures, our traditions, telling our own stories in our own way, in their own way, and we are also able to do likewise. So therefore, we think this is a great opportunity to have our brothers here to start the kind of collaboration with our film industry. Let's clap for the film industry. This is a wonderful and laudable initiative. Our vision as the Federation of Allied Tourism Association is to see how we can push Sierra Leone to become a leading and sustainable tourism destination within the sub-region.
I told you earlier on that I'm so excited because in 5 days, they have transformed the mindset of industry players. I am flabbergasted. I am overwhelmed. I am so happy. This industry is still in its infancy, and we are beginning to gather such important people. It's a testament to show that, like my minister is saying, great things is ahead of us.
Well, that's all for Primetime News for tonight. For more stories, visit our website at www.ayvnews.com. If you have any comments on the news, please send us an email to info@ayvnews.com. I am Zulayatu Hamid, and thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye.